And if anyone wants to add to the list of all the things that the government does to trauma bond people, just so we don't know what they do. Sorry, one sec. I have to run it down. Push it down a little bit. To the list. Racial profiling. I think you might be able to, if you can, maybe I might need to write, but you can see a list of all the things that the government does to trauma bond people. So like I said, if you've got, and if you want to add to the list, or you have anything, still don't mind me, but yeah. Here is a good one. strange. And then all this, I mean, I could add to the list, probably like more things. I'll probably rewrite to make it look a bit neater, but all this because the government, so this is by the consent of the people, and how they gain our consent. So through the government gains our consent and authorisation. Authorisation meaning we authorise them, not the other way around. Authorisation through our signature. So that they can go to the central bank and obtain funds on our behalf, but we don't get what we do not get or receive. And they confuse us. With a whole heap of bullshit, so that we don't know how to do it. So that's how we get from that, all of this, based on consent. The reason for it, the reason why they need our authorisation and consent, and through our signature, and it's not even. I think it's just more basis just to make sure that we do never ever go and do what they do. So they will never give us the information or anything like that. They'll just confuse us and confuse us and confuse us and confuse us, like with on the spot fines, because that's a confusion. The spot fines. With the way how they come across like they own the land. Confusion. That is their main focus, just to confuse everyone. And you know, if they want to do everything in their power to traumatize everyone in the worst way, just so that our brains are so like confused or brainwashed to the point where we don't even know what they do or how they do what they do. Because obviously you'd have to have brains to be able to go here to the central bank, because obviously the central bank don't deal with people, so you'd have to have the brains to be able to know how you'll be able to interact with the central bank on a banking business level to be able to obtain funds in the billions and trillions. You'd have to have a lot of brains to be able to do that. So if the government can confuse people and trauma bond people in every way possible, then that will make it so that your brain can never really function to the extent that they function, such as funding for housing. Funding for housing. Under trust. With us being the beneficiaries. But then and if the government does so happen to think that you're one of them people with a high IQ, that will be able to get to that stage, which some people do. And I do believe that some of them companies, or so even the social media companies like Facebook and all, you know, they have them type of brains like Amazon and, you know, them kind of people. And I do believe that, again, they don't even say nothing. They don't give us the information. I'm not really too sure why, but I do think that it's all like maybe that they know each other. And then they went, oh, you just set up this there, but don't give them the information about how you make money, or you do this. And, you know, like, say if they want to go and set up a Tesco or KFC, and then or a McDonald's, and then you got so many McDonald's everywhere, but they don't want to give you the information about how McDonald's is obtaining all them properties, how did Tesco obtain all them properties, how did Asda obtain all of them properties, and how much is it all worth. And did Asda, Tesco, or any of them, or even the housing for that matter, when they're going to obtain all of these billions and trillions and funding for housing, did they go and work in Tesco when they got the money to get the house for us to be rehousing? Did they go to Tesco and work for like how many hours to save up to get a house for us to live in? I don't think so. So none of them never worked in Tesco. None of them. Never worked in Tesco for no money. I don't know if you can see my writing, it's a bit. So that's why they need to keep the trauma bonding. Let me just put it back on this page again, and then I'll flip it back to that. And then, you know, as I go into the lives a bit more further, go deeper in with how they do all of this, which will probably take a while, but, and the step-by-step guide will probably take a while, but I'll just put it back to that based on the concern of the people. And how they get our consent, I'll let you know at some point. But obviously, you know, wherever your signature is wherever they got this consent from. So wherever you sign is you giving, whether it be in a police station when you get arrested for some minor or non-made up offence, or some make-up offence. And then they go, oh, can you sign here, sign here, sign here? That's what they want your signature for, because at the end of the day, it costs money to go in them rooms. You know, them rooms cost money. the police want paying because it's their time that they have to sit down there, and then the electric in the building needs paying and things like that. So yeah, you don't even know when you sign that how much money they're getting. I mean, keeping you in overnight, I wonder how much that will cost. Food in the morning, shower, when you're in the police station, that is. In the prisons, that's probably another, like, that's more money. Do you know what I mean? But again, it's all based on your signature. That's why they want it. And if they don't get it, if they don't get your signature, if they do come and want to obtain your signature through some kind of forceful method, and you give them your signature, that'll be why. Or if they want your signature and you don't want to give it them, they will come and, you know, use force on people, like such as forceful arrests. Like, say if you say, oh, I'm not signing that, so they'll do that. Or they'll even go as far as that, or even that, racial profiling, and all the long list of things that they can do. Obviously I won't say that we, obviously, because that's why I said unknowingly, but this is, again, because obviously if we're giving them consent through certain means, that, and then they're kidnapping, removing children from innocent families, that's how you get that. And kidnapping as well, like enforced disappearance. I mean, these people are, like I said, they're really busy, aren't they? You know, busy with torture tactics, busy targeting individuals. I mean, all of this costs money. Busy calculating high rate crimes, probably even, you know, paying people to commit crimes. Busy with on the spot fines. Busy causing confusion out of chaos. Busy covering up the Epstein files on all the kids that they keep kidnapping, just to torture and brainwash people some more and trauma bomb people to the worst extent. So I just I mean, can you imagine waking up in the morning going, oh, I'm gonna be busy today, what you doing? Oh, I'm gonna racially profile someone today. And how much is that gonna cost? I don't know. Because I don't even know how much it costs, but it must cost a lot of money just to racially profile just one person, let alone how many people. That costs money. And then they decided that they want to wake up in the morning and do that. And they will be getting the money for that. So all of this costs money. And like I said, none of them never worked in Tesco anywhere like that for no money. So, you know, it's just like easy pickings for them because they have the knowledge. And that's why they do all of this, so that we don't have the knowledge. And even if we try and research or whatever, they don't give us the knowledge either. They don't tell us nothing about what they do when they obtain our signature. They just act like they own everything, even your kids. You know what I'm trying to say? Like this is where you get, we own people's children, where they can remove children from innocent families and then ship them to Epstein's Island. And then after they finish torturing them, yeah, then the judge can cover it up and then they get paid for it as well. So they all getting paid, and they didn't go to Tesco for the money because the courts are connected to this. And like I said, I'm not going to even go into that discussion yet, but yeah. Flip it over to the next page real quick so you can just contemplate on that as well. That, let me see if I can move it forward. So yeah, where's my pen? I'm just gonna add one more thing before I jump off the live, because I'm gonna go back live with all this. I'll go into more detail about what they do, and then the step-by-step guide. I'll be busy trying to sort that out so we can all go and do what they do. And courts, with the judges being probably acting as a referee, I don't know, whatever you want, judge, jury or whatever, but they are their banking system. So say like, you know, if they need to obtain funds, like say if you go to court and then the cost of the courts, and you know, if they put you in prison, you got to get the cost of that, and you know, everyone that was involved has to get paid as well. So courts, judges, and their banking system, like their systematic payments, whatever they want to call it, you know, because they all have their own, because like I said, the central bank don't deal with people, like, so we can't just go in the central bank as people, so you have to set up certain things. So this is what they do, and this is the information that they don't like to give people, because they just like to control everyone. But the banking payment system, what they have is connected to the central bank. So, you know, it doesn't really make no sense. So when they give you on the spot fines, it don't really make no sense if you people on the spot fines take them to court. So I do think that they do that as well, to brainwash people and trauma bond people some more, knowing that if you haven't got the same knowledge and information as them, you're going to be struggling to pay that on the spot fine, and then they're going to be like, right, 3,000, 4,000, and then you're going to have to go and, I mean, where are you going to get 4,000 from for on the spot fine that you can't really afford to pay? While at the same time, you know, they can just go get money from the central bank. So can you see how they like to brainwash people to the full extent? It doesn't really make no sense, yeah. If you can get money from the central bank anyway, why would you want us to pay? So that means that if you want us to pay on the spot fine and we haven't got no money, and like I said, none of them don't work in Tesco, so if they want money, whatever they want money for, they can just go here. So they don't need to go and work in Tesco for it. So when they give us on the spot fines, that's just basically them saying that if you haven't got the same information that we have, you're gonna have to go and work in Tesco for quite a long time, for how many hours, Tesco, Asda, wherever, probably do double shifts to pay back the fine, the on the spot fine, such as, I'm not gonna even go into that, but yeah, I was actually just gonna say something as well. Yeah, so you could either, so they want you to pay a fine, yeah, while at the same time, if they want money, such as when they take people's children and they want money, because obviously they know that you ain't got, because even when they take children, everybody wants paying, the psychologist wants paying, the psychiatrist wants paying for their assessment, the judge wants paying as well for whatever, so they all want paying, yeah. And so if you take an innocent child from a family and they all want paying and they know that you haven't got no money, they just gonna go straight to that bank, because you ain't got that type of money. You ain't got like 10 grand to fund this and 20 grand to fund whatever, so they just go straight to here when they take kids. But then when they want to issue a fine, they don't go there to go, oh, and we've issued you a fine, so therefore we need you to pay for whatever it is, the offence, the made up, fabricate, whatever they want to, you know, environmental, whatever. And then so if you don't have the same information that they do, like such as go to the central bank to get the funding, then obviously you're gonna have problems paying that fine, and they know that because it's all part of their brainwashing tactics. There you go. So you see how full of shit these people are. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. They confuse us with a whole heap of bullshit so that we don't know how to do it, how to do what they do, and other companies and government corporations and whatnot. And even with the funding for housing on the trust, with them being the trust and the trustees, and us as beneficiaries where we get the property, but they get the money. And then they want to go and put us in certain types of properties, like, say, for instance, you know, if you get put in a property and you're getting severely harassed by a neighbour, they probably pay them to do that. You know what I mean? Because again, if they think that you're the type of person that is able to, because some people do, you know, like, do you know what I mean? Like, because some people have great minds, you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, like, probably like quite a lot of people have great minds, you know what I'm trying to say? So, if they don't want you to express your greatness, then these are the things that they will do. Brainwashing tactics. And if they think that you're one of them people with a high IQ that's gonna, you know, figure it all out, and then, you know, you become a billionaire or whatever, and a trillionaire, which is what more times. And again, even with them ones there, I would be a bit wary of them as well, because they didn't give us the information. So if I was going to be a billionaire and a trillionaire, or a trillionaire, yeah, why would you not want to give people the information so that they can also become billionaires and trillionaires? Because, you know, say for instance, like McDonald's and how much McDonald's is worth, and with all the properties that they obtain, I can guarantee, yeah, I don't think that the majority of them. Don't know if yeah, so if they're on if they're torturing children, kidnapping children, torturing them for whatever reason. I think that people should have the information. So I'm not really too sure why they would turn around and go, oh, we don't want you to have the information for whatever reason. I just think it's just because they don't want us to have the information because they're that type of people, you know, just like sick in the head, not righted, and just, I don't know. Because I'm not really too sure what the problem is. But like I said, once they have your birth, once they obtain this birth certificate with your signature at the bottom again, it just gives them the authorisation to go to the central bank. To go to central bank and obtain funds or money, whatever you want to call it. So that's what they do. That is basically what it gives them, the authorization. And then obviously if you want me to delve a bit deeper into that, and also not telling people, I'll probably class that as fraudulent, like bank fraud, because bank fraud, obtaining funds without our consent. Or knowledge, because this is how I'm just going to drop it, yeah, right, because even with the normal banks, yeah, like Halifax, because obviously even they go to the central bank because they don't print money either, so they just take the piss as well. Do you know what I mean? And they can put a long list of ways how they take the piss. So obviously, if I became a billionaire, I would even want to put my money in them banks with what they do. But bank fraud, obtaining funds without our consent or knowledge, and it's just like, obviously because they don't tell you about that, it will be just like, say if you have a TSB bank and then you have money in there and you got a bank card, and it's your bank card and it's your bank, and then someone takes your bank card, goes to the bank and then takes out money out of your bank account without letting you know. I mean, would that not piss you off? Because I know that it would piss me off if someone took my bank card and went to the bank to go and draw money out without letting me know, without asking me or anything like that. And then he just took it and spent it on whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing, but even worse. But either way, it's still, you know, bank fraud and obtaining funds without our consent, and then trying to make us think that our banking system is Halifax and TSB when it's not, because they do the same thing as well. Halifax, TSB, and blah blah blah. And like I said, there's only one place where money comes from, and that is the central bank. So anywhere there is money, that's where it came from, and that's where they all go. But so if there's money out there in wherever the money may be, that's where it came from. How it ended up where it ended up is a different story. And also the accounting side of things, because obviously you gotta take that into account as well. So these will be the topics of discussion that I'll be having in the next live. So I'll just let you contemplate on that for a little bit, and then I'm going to come off the live and go live again with the next set of information. So So if anyone has any questions that they want to ask me about anything that I was speaking about today, because like I said, this is my first time that I've gone live. So if you have any questions, because I'm coming off the live now, so if you have any questions that you want to ask me about anything, just send me a direct message on TikTok. And I will try and let you know when I go on my next live. It shouldn't be too far down the line. So, yeah. Any questions? And thank you for joining the live, everyone. But like I said, it's my first time, so I don't think half of the features that are available are not on mine yet. So I can't really send messages on a live, I think, or I don't think anyone can send me a message on the live yet. But you can send me a direct message on TikTok if you have any discussions, and I will post I'll try and post the next time I go live, or I might just go live. So if I'm on a live and you just so happen to catch me on live, then yeah, have a great day, and I will see you soon.